Hello friends, welcome to Banker Zone. In this session, we will continue discussion on the fundamentals of HRM. Now see, employee policy. Employee policies are basically the essential guideline for the both organization as well as the employee, right? So it provides the direction, the policy provide basically the direction that what is actually expected from the employee. It also minimizes the favoritism and the discrimination in the organization. It also help to resolve the conflicts, right? It also promote the positive work environment in the organization. Employee policy should be adaptive, means what? It able to change over the period of time because of changing nature of HRM. So policy should able to change. That is what policy must be adaptive. Then human resource are influenced by the various factor. It can be the culture and the education of organization. Keeping policy up to date is also the crucial part, right? So these are all about the employee policy, right? So they are providing direction, they are minimizes the favoritism or the discrimination, it resolve the conflict and promote the positive work environment. It is right. Apart from that, the policy must be the adaptive over the period of time. Okay, now importance of the human capital. See, human capital include like a skill, knowledge, attribute and the motivation along with the effort done by the individual, right? So these all are part of the human capital. Very simple. What is human capital? The skill, knowledge, attribute, motivation the employee is having and effort done by the employee, effort conducted by the individual is a part of the human capital, right? So human capital can be shared and can be rented temporarily, right? But its ownership is not transferable. This statement is very important for your exam point of view, right? So remember, you can share the human capital, you can rent it temporary basis, but it is not a transferable. Very important. You cannot transfer your skill, right? You cannot transfer your knowledge what you are having in your brain, right? That means these are your human capital, right? What is see here, human capital basically refer to what? The individual. Human capital means simply the talented, human capital means simply like the talented employee you are having. We will simply call it as the human capital. Okay, so you can share it, you can rent it temporarily, but you cannot transfer it. Okay, this is a collective value of organization's intellectual capital. So what is intellectual capital? It can be the competency, knowledge and the skill the employee of the organization is having, right? So human wealth is categorized into the three era. So in three era, we will learn the human wealth. So the agrarian era, the industrial era and the knowledge era. So in an agrarian era, wealth is basically derived from the natural surrounding. In an industrial era, obviously, machinery along with the natural resources, the wealth is derived. And in knowledge era, obviously, the current era, we derive the wealth from the human capital, right? So very simple. Agrarian means simply the natural surrounding. Industry means the natural resource plus machinery, and knowledge means simply the human capital. So currently we are deriving the wealth from the human capital. As per the Bill Gates, he says human capital is the base of a competition. Human capital is a competition base. Future success is linked to the education system as per the Bill Gates. However, the Alan Shearer says that human capital should be managed similarly to the financial or the physical asset, focusing on the strategic investment and optimizing the return as per the Allen. Right now, see through picture you will get the idea clarity. See, in agrarian era, what we get from natural surrounding, natural resources, we are getting the wealth. In industrial era, from industries we are getting the wealth. In knowledge era, we are getting the wealth from the simply the human capital, right? From human capital. So Bill Gates what says? These are the perspective on human capital. Bill Gates human capital is a competition base. Okay. Now human resource accounting. Human resource accounting measure the cost associated with the recruiting, training, developing the employee as a valuable organizational resource. Means what? Simply what cost is associated when we talk about the recruitment of the employee, training of employee and developing employees, right? Then how much economic value that people, the employee will add to the organization, and it also account the cost when we are losing the talent. That means since hiring the employee, right? Since hiring the employee, then developing that employee, then how much value he will add, then what is the cost when he leaves, right? So all is been done, all calculation has been basically done. That is the part of human resource accounting. Very simple, right? Now valuation of human capital. See, valuation of human capital is linked to the operational efficiency. See, if your operations are more efficiently being conducted, means you are having human capital very high value, right? Very simple. Effective MIs also help to contribute that how to capture the value, human capital valuation. Effective MIS means management information system. It can be the summarize the database. competency may vary. What are the competency? Competency means what are the attribute you are having, like what are the skills you are having, what are the knowledge you are having, your leadership quality, the communication, these are the part of competency. Software that quantify these competency could provide a more accurate valuation. See, obviously, if you have to do the valuation of competency, you can do the use of software. Okay. Further, transforming employee into the productive asset. Organizations are shifting the focus from hiring to investing into employee skill. See, not only hiring, first hire the people, then we should train them, develop them so that they can give productivity to the organization. So what is old idea? Old idea was simply finding the right people for the job. You should choose in the right person, he will do a good job. But now is new idea. You have to transform employee into the valuable resource who can contribute effectively. So you have to do the hiring, you have to provide training, development, skill upgradation. Then he will be the best valuable resource, will contribute to the organization. Very simple. What is old idea? Simply hire the right person. What is new idea? Transform the employee as a right person. Okay. See, if the leadership is poor, obviously there will be low profit and the failure of the organization. Right? So that's why leader must adapt to need a new generation employee, right? Who needs the freedom, who love the work-life balance and less rigid organization structure. See, this is the new generation employee, like millennial, Gen Z. They want a very flexible work structure. They want work from home, right? They want work-life balance. Whenever they want leave, right? They want freedom to work. So these are what? These are the necessities. These are the requirement from the new generation employee. So leader must be able to consider it. Then leader should make the mentoring approach, means he should be able to guide the employees. Leader should establish the harmonious workplace atmosphere, and company should train the employee for the skill. It can be the soft skill or the technical skill. Then see, one important thing, the Tannenbaum and Schmidt has discussed in the Harvard Business Review that how manager need to choose their leadership style, balancing authority and the team autonomy, right? Very simple. Leadership style, the authority and the autonomy, right? How leader are choosing it is discussed in the Harvard Business Review by Tannenbaum and the Schmidt. Now see one interesting model. This is not part of your syllabus, still I am giving you so that you will get clarity. See, the Tannenbaum and Schmidt model. See, this model is basically a leadership model, right? So that leadership model discussed or developed in 1958, right? And it have the 7 management style. What are the 7 management style? First is tell, second is sell, third is suggest, consult, join, delegate and abdicate. That style is basically between the boss-centered authority and the freedom to the sub-staff, freedom to the subordinate, right? So how much authority boss is implementing and how much freedom he is giving to the sub-staff. So bossing versus freedom to the staff. This is what all about the model, right? Very simple. That means, see, in the here manager's use of authority decreases here. You can note here. This is the authority. Use of authority decreases as we move from first stage to 7th stage, and the freedom of employee, degree of freedom to the employee is increases as we move from 1st to 7th. Right? So very simple. Say first in tail, what is happening? Manager is having highest authority and employee's contribution is only listening, right? So manager makes decision and tells only to the team, right? But in case of the abdicate stage, it is the highest freedom given to the employee and less authority to the manager. So manager allow full freedom to explore the option and make the decision. So in that way it is working. So middle stage is what? Middle is consult. At least you remember the name of stages. First, middle and last. In middle, consult. So manager make decision, consulting with the team before making it final. That is called as the 50-50, right? So in that way you remember, very simple. In sell obviously more authority. So manager make decision and sell it to team, means I have taken decision, you have to implement it. Suggest means simply manager present suggestion but invite question from the team, right? Not the solution. Manager present problem and gets team idea and make decision. This is what? The join. Delegate means manager define the limit and then ask team for this. So this is the problem. Now yourself you find the solution. This is what? The delegate, delegating the authority. And abdicate means simply giving full freedom. Okay, no problem. Like that. Okay. Now see, HRM and management transformation. See, globalization and the technological advancement, they are reshaping the businesses, right? Success revolve on organizing future opportunity, threat and challenges into the advantage. So obviously, how you will get success when you have to find the future opportunity. What are the threats means dangers to your business, and how you can turn that into the advantage. Ignoring changes or the status quo can lead to the disaster or the disastrous outcome for the company. Obviously, like example like Nokia, right? Nokia, or you can say the Kodak camera, the company which are not able to change, they are losing their market share. Organizational change means so simply change implementation, right? For it can be the technology upgradation, it can be the bank merger, best example, right? These are the organizational changes. So organizational changes, who will be done? Obviously, HR has to do the organizational change. HR will be acting as the agent of management for the organizational change. Outsourcing from the overseas market. See, what is outsourcing? Outsourcing of the job. See, in the USA, what is happening? In the US or the European country, they are able to outsource the job due to the use of internet. Right? There is an internet connection all over the world, so easily they can outsource the job. So whatever job is there in the USA, so person sitting in India can do that job using the access of internet, right? So basically, what are the outsourced tasks like call centers, credit card processing, legal transcription, medical record keeping? These are the example for the outsourced task. Okay. Now, Indian HRM in transition. See, very important. How to understand this? See, this concept is interesting. How we are doing transition, right? See, globalization impact has been happen into the Indian organization, right? So globalization changed the business practices and the education. So it impacted how managers should think and act, right? This is the globalization. That's why managers in India, they have to change how they should think and act. Then rising standards. See, due to the globalization, service industry pushes highest education and the job specific skill like IT. They need more technical skill, more the coding language for the developer role, right? That means more people should have the more knowledge. That is the rising standard, right? So also the regional diversity demands you. So in a company you can see from north to south, east to west, everywhere the people are working. That is what the regional diversity. Next, recognizing the HR's importance. So obviously, if the lot of changes are happening, obviously the Indian company have now noticed the importance of the HR. Apart from that, the strategic HRM is linked to the performance. Means what? What is strategic HRM? Linking strategy of organization with the strategy of the human resource department that will improve the performance. Okay, these are recognizing the HR's importance. Now there are key area like the software industry, the pharma industry and biotech. They are focusing on the strategic HRM. What is strategic HRM? When you do the human resource management strategically, means what? Simply aligning the goal with the business organization. It is called strategic HRM. So like talent acquisition, R&D skill, innovative management, these are the part of the these are the area where these industries are focusing. Then companies becoming now a knowledge hub. This is not only the company. Nowadays, companies becoming the knowledge hub, right? So the intellectual wealth is vital for success of the organization. So companies are not only the organization, they are now becoming the knowledge hub. Future HRM trends in India. What are the trends? See, the global outlook emphasizes on the teamwork and the professional independence. Right, so there must be the proper teamwork and everybody should be professionally competent to contribute to the organization. Okay, now next is the role of industrial relation. See, industrial relationship to the modern HRM. See this is what the old India, you can notice like that. Okay, industrial era, and this is the modern HRM approach. Okay, so in industrial or the traditional relation, what is happening? There were the companies, mainly the factory, not a company. There were mainly the production factories are there. So in the factory workers, they are having the unions, right? The trade unions, and there will be the obviously roots linked to of the union or the worker to the political roots are there, and labor laws were strictly focusing to save the employee or the industry relation. Labor laws were there, right? That means there was a clear distinction. So there is no any development for the human resource. Only humans are treated like workers, right? So now the change has happened. We are shifting towards the modern HRM approach. So what are the driver for the change? Globalization. See, due to globalization, many foreign company came into India, right? Emergence of the service sector. So service sector has been emerged like IT sector, banking sector. So due to the emergence of service sector, and the tech software industry coming into picture, right? So these are the driver for the transformation, right? Now in the industrial relation in the traditional industries, industrial. What happening? What are the challenges? Simply high attrition. Many people are leaving the job. For example, in BPO, 25%. Demanding work culture was there and long working hours was there. However, in the modern HRM, what should be the new strategy as a concept? What should be new strategy? See, in modern HRM, we are transforming. People now, the organizations or the HR become the people centric. Talent management has given the importance, and learning and development also got the more attention. Apart from that, employee engagement is also crucial. Now, in that, what are the challenges for the HR? They should be less inclined. So nowadays, today's generation is less inclined to the union, right? So employee are leaving the organization if they are getting better pay. So there must be the proper strategy for the retention of the employee. Merit based system should be there, right? So in the traditional area there is a seniority based system, right? Seniority based, but here the merit based models are there. Who is talented will get the promotion, like that. Okay, so this is all about the role of industrial relation or shift from industrial relation to the modern HRM. Okay, now development of HRM in India. See, the shift from traditional personal department. See, previously when we talk about this image, see here there was no HR, there was the personal department or the personal management department, PM or the PD. But in case of the modern India or modern approach, we have the HRM, Human Resource Management Department, right, or HR function. However, many traditional practices still in the Indian industry. So public sector undertaking also have the issue with respect to the reservation. So that add to the complexity. Now see, through example, you will get idea. These are the human resource management HR practices, and they are observation we can find into the Indian organization. Very simple. With respect to the job description, see the percentage of employee with a formally defined work role is very high. Means what? Whatever you are having, you have the job description. Do only that. Don't apply your mind more than that. With respect to the recruitment, the strong dependence is there on the formal labor market. Direct recruitment is also happening from the campus of the institution. With respect to the placement agency, there is internet, print media, and popular medium. They are used for the recruitment, right? Like advertisement. Then compensation, in the public sector, job security is there, lifetime employment is there, and the benefits are there. Training and development. These are poorly established. There is no proper and good training and development available in the Indian organization. Very little recognition is given for the importance of the skill and the value growth. Performance appraisal. See, formal performance appraisal coverage is limited. With respect to the few employees are only getting benefit from the reward linked to the organizational goal, like a PLI. Only higher executive, more than scale 3, 4, 5. They are getting best, right? Promotion and the reward. Public sector will still follow the seniority based approach. With respect to the merit based approach, it is followed into the competitive sector, like private sector. Career planning. With respect to the career planning, what we can observe, like there is a very limited scope, and seniority based character system is you will get promotion if you are senior in the public sector undertaking, like banks. The acceptance of the VRS by the high performing staff is also one of the observation. And cross-functional career path is very uncommon. Like you are working in the marketing, you are moved to the operation, you are moved to the clearing section. So this is very uncommon. Gender equity, obviously there is gender equity, but it is due to the court ruling or the international labor organization guideline, or it can be the legislation provision like a law, right? Reservation. With respect to reservation, central government has to enforce the reservation system. 50% SC, 7.5 for ST, and 27 for the OBC. However, there is variation as per the state in the reservation. So these are just observation. Now, what are the contemporary issue in the Indian HRM? So what are the challenges with respect to the that contemporary means the same time, at that time when we are talking about. Contemporary means at that time. So see, when the globalization happened, right, at that time some challenges has emerged, like unfamiliar law. So whatever law in India, it cannot be same with the law in the USA, like that, due to the outsourcing, right? So the language problem can be there. Japanese language very hard, right? Then what are the practices followed in the organization? These are the challenges. Apart from that, the workforce challenge, right? So due to the globalization, there are challenges like unfamiliar law, language barrier, and the diverse culture practices. Due to the workforce, the challenges with respect to the workforce, for example, dual career of a couple, right? So both working, husband working, wife working, right? Who will take the care of children, right? That is what the dual career couple. So a younger workforce, diminished loyalty, an aging employee demographic, and increased expectations for compensation and the operational freedom. So younger workforce, if they get new opportunity, they will leave the organization, right? So aging the employee demographic. So how the senior people will adjust with the new recruit. This is what the multi-generation team. And increase the expectations due to the high competition. The freedom is required to the employee to work, right? They need the freedom and the higher compensation. These are the issue in the Indian HRM. Further, see, the traditional employee benefit are losing appeal. See, for example, see, whatever we are getting in the bipedal settlement is not appealing for the new generation employee, right? So trade union are declining in relevance. So employee the HR has to renegotiate with the for the employee, right? HR manager need to focus on sustainable people development, right? So see, HR should not be the boss. HR should be able to focus on the skill development, like a sustainable development for the people. Role of women in the workplace, obviously now it is role of women should given the equal opportunity, gender equity initiative. And there is one thing, simple thing, if the when employee will be loyal with your organization, when they get compensated adequately, means what, if they are getting sufficient amount of salary, if they are satisfied with the job, obviously they will remain loyal with the organization. Now see, moonlighting. Moonlighting refer to the holding the second job or the multiple work assignment in addition to the full-time job. It means what, you are already one job you are having, still you are engaging into the other job. So you are having main job, but in the night you are doing the other side job, right? Night means simply for understanding purpose, I said that, right? So this practice has gained the attention in particular in like IT industry post COVID during the work from home culture, right? It is also called as the dual appointment. Very simple. Moonlighting means simply the dual appointment, two job you are doing at a time. So what are the concerns here? See, company says that there can be the confidentiality breaches, there can be the decreased productivity, or lower employee engagement can be there. So these are the reason stated by the company. These are the concern for the company. So several company has terminated the employee also, and several company has issued the warning to their employee that it is saying that it is the unethical trend. Okay, moonlighting, very easy. Now PM HRD HRM. See, when the Factories Act has been enacted, right? So as per the act, there should be the welfare officer who should look after the welfare activity within the factory for the worker, right? So welfare officer is given by the Factories Act. Now industrial relation brought a legal framework to the bargaining process between the management and the union. So what is industrial relation? In industrial relation, the union start bargaining with the management for the benefit of the employee. So that basically lead to the personal department in the organizations. So there is given by the McGregor, the McLaren, Herzberg, Argyris. They have emphasized the need and meaning in work, right? So they said how your work will be meaningful through job component, through responsibility and recognition and the achievement. If you are having that components in your organization, so there will be some meaning to do work in the organization. So that basically formed the basis for the human resource development, HRD. So in banking, we are also transitioning from personal department to the HR department. Okay. Now there was previously PM, means personal management only, right? So they are only doing the administrative work like a payroll, record keeping. Now after that there is HRD. HRD is a development, right? So training, skill development, these are the part of HRD. Now HRM is what? It is a broader framework for managing the employee, like hiring, compensation, etc. Right? So see how the transition is happened. LM is there, means what? Labor management. Previously employee was there, right? Only the labor. So doing the labor management. Then after that the personal management come into picture. Then human resource development. Then it become the human resource management. Now it become the human capital management, right? This is the journey of the Indian or the human resource department. Remember it, very important. So remember one thing, HRD is a subset of HRM. PM can be the subset of HRD. LM can be the subset of PM. In that way you remember, very simple, right? Okay. Now what are the responsibility area of HR head? So HR head should be able to do the plan. What is planning? Planning means simply what future manpower we are required, what skill they should have. That is a part of planning. Then HR head, that is a traditional HR approach. Staffing, with respect to the staffing, he should able to provide the complexity, the competency matrix to address the incoming challenges, right? So if we have what are the upcoming challenges, right? To address the challenge, what are the competence, that is skill we are having. Employee development, see, identifying the cost effective and a modern training method, that is the role of HR head. With respect to the performance management, he should able to establish the performance measurement and aligning individual and the corporate goal, means how to measure the performance, right? That is what the part of HR head. Employee reward, creation of incentive scheme, right? That should focus on the to motivate the employee basically. This is the part of the HR head. Maintain quality of work life and discipline. There must be the proper discipline, also the work life balance. That is, maintaining that in the organization is a part of the HR head, right? These are the area of HR head, the responsibility area of HR head. Planning, staffing, employee development, performance management, employee reward, maintaining quality of work life and the discipline in the organization. Very simple, right? Now see, what we learn is what, see, very simple. What are the, see, through image you will get better clarity. HR head will do the planning about the manpower requirement. HR head will do the staffing, means like transfer, posting, etc. Ensuring proper staff at a proper place. Employee development means like training to the employees. Performance management, measure the performance like PMS. Employee reward, give reward to the top performer, good performer, and maintain quality of work life and the discipline in the organization. Okay. Now, role need to own and perform by the HR head. HR head should be able to do following roles, right? So, under a talent acquisition function, HR head should be able to develop. HR head should be able to develop a recruitment roadmap to attract the good talent, right? So, and the recruitment should be the innovative process, so that the good talent will get into the organization. Next is the organizational development. So, with respect to it, designing the performance management, competency management, career planning, employee engagement, these are very, very important with respect to the organizational development role. Now, under the role of effective leader, he should able to ensure that objectives are met on the continuous basis, and it is internal consultant. He should act as an internal consultant in the organization and determine the implementation strategy. With respect to the business partner, HR head should be able to perform the role of the strategic business partner, like employee champion and the change agent. So, how he can be the good business partner? So, HR head should be able to do the role of a business partner also, employee champion also, and the change agent also. So, designing the effective talent acquisition, a proper engagement of employee, development of the employee, retention strategy, these are the part of the effective business partner. Okay. Now, what are the new roles of HR manager in the bank? So, we are talking about the bank. So, whatever HR is there, he should be able to work as a counselor. So, he should provide the consultation on the issue. It can be the personal, health or mental, right? He should act as a friend, and he should do the career advice on the promotion or transfer, etc. This is what the counselor, right? Now, with respect to the mediator, he should be able to facilitate the conflict resolution if there is any conflict, right, between the individual, between the group, or between management and the union. He should be able to handle it. So, handling the union matter is also important, right? So, this is the role of mediator. Now, problem solver, he should be able to address the issue with respect to the human resource engagement, right? Like a long-term organizational planning, etc. That means if there is any problem, he should be able to solve that. Very simple. Change agent. So, obviously, the HR is the agent. The HR is the agent of management to implement the changes. That is called change agent. So, particularly in public sector banks which are adapting to the technological changes, the role of HR is implement the changes, right? So, what is change agent? HR is mainly responsible to act as an agent to implement the changes in the organization. He should be able to understand, he should be able to give proper information to the employee why these changes are necessary. Now, management of the manpower resources is the primary function of the HR, right? They should focus on effective people management across the individual, group and the organizational levels. Okay, these are the role. Now, see, through image you will get a clarity. What are the modern role of HR manager in the banks? He should able to act as a counselor, right? So, he should able to counsel the people. Mediator, if there is any dispute between the people, he should act as a mediator. Problem solver, if there are some problem, he should able to identify the solution for it. Change agent, if the organization has to implement some changes, he should act as a change agent. Management of the manpower resource. So, proper manpower resources, right? How to manage transfer, boosting, that should be the part of the HR manager. Okay, now what can be the future role of HR manager in the bank? In future, he has to deal with both human and the non-human resources, right? He need to optimize the human resource. He should act as a strategic change agent. He should push the use of technology. He should engage the behaviorist scientist to improve the efficiency. He should manage the diverse workforce. He should be he should be able to manage the effective talent management. It can be for the succession, competency mapping. Attrition management is also important. Attrition means the people are leaving the organization. How to minimize that, right? HR will tackle the workplace stress to ensure sustained organizational growth. So, these are all the future role of HR manager in the bank. Okay. Now, ethical issue in the HRM. What can be the ethical issue? Ethical issue is very common. In every organization, you will find the ethical issue, right? First is say the compensation. Compensation means getting money, right? So HR often get a pressure to justify the higher salary, right? For example, but in a public sector bank, we are having this salary as per the IBA. So that concern is very less in the public sector bank. But in private bank, they will create the position, they will give more package to that, and HR has to justify, right, like that. Okay. Then incentive plan. HR might be compelled to design and implement the executive incentive plan. So more incentive to the top executive that can be implemented by HR under pressure. That is unethical, right? Perks. So for example, the spending on CEO or executives accommodation, giving them a very executive luxurious bungalow, which is not required at all, right? That is what the executive perks. Then performance appraisal can, so this is also ethical concern when if there is performance evaluation has some personal biases, the favoritism, discrimination, that is what the performance bias, that is the ethical issue. Then we have the diversity issue. See, the demographic differences can be there, right? So the Indian workplace regulation promote equal treatment, but if there can be the diversity issue, so people belonging from the same state will be given the preference, good rating, so that can be the ethical issue. Recruitment and the promotion issue, so it can be the ethical challenges, the potential biases, and the issue to favor the certain candidate or the nepotism can be there. So it is very also common into the some banks, mainly the private sector bank, not in our bank. We are following the IBPS, right? So the recruitment, the promotion issue, nepotism can be there, right? What is nepotism? Nepotism means simply, if for example the one person is working as a GM, his son selected as a probationary officer in the bank. That is what the nepotism means, giving preference to own kids. Confidentiality and the privacy. See, obviously everybody has its own personal life, right? Their personal belief or personal lifestyle cannot be shared by the HR, right? So if HR is sharing it, that means the confidentially or privacy ethically they are breaking it, right? So only if there is request under the RT Act, right to information, we can show it. These are all part of the ethical issue. So see, through image you will get further interesting clarity. See, compensation, the compensation issue, like private sector, justifying higher salary can be under HR can be under pressure. For but public sector bank we are having IBA structure, so no justification required. We are having proper structure. Incentive plan, obviously there is a risk. How risk? See, designing a plan that will exceed the individual merit, or HR can be forced to give more incentive, right? But in public sector bank we are having the incentive which are approved by the board. Now there can be the issue like perks, giving more perks to the higher executive, like a flight tickets, house, etc. There can be the issue like a performance appraisal, like personal biases can be there. With respect to diversity, see, diverse of people are working, right? So everybody should get the equal treatment. If there is bias, then there is diversity issue. Recruitment and promotion, obviously nepotism can be there, and confidentially should not be revealed. However, it can be revealed by HR under pressure. These are all what simply the ethical issue in the HR. Okay, so friends, here is the end of the chapter. We are having the Android application Banker Zone CAIIB. You can download that application from the Play Store. Thank you.